Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Supreme Racing League Grand Prix here in Mexico. I'm Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me on the caster's bench is the greatest, King Kodiak.
You level far too much praise at me, sir. The pleasure is all mine to be alongside the great Rwaggy himself. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. We are indeed here at the Autodromo Jalaspache in Mexico. It's going to be a good, fun race, I have no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, this is the third to last race of the actual calendar itself. There are some legends I've actually raced themselves, Ricardo and Pedro Rodriguez, and this is actually Honda's first ever F1 victory here in 1965, believe it or not. So there are 17 turns, 2.674 miles on this entire track distance. There are 2 DRS zones, obviously that means 2 detection zones. And it's going to be a lot of overtaking, some technical corners as well with the S's. In particular, we're just going to take a quick look at your driver standings. So it's already been settled that Crow is your Supreme Racing League World Champion, and Hazard is there in P2. It's all to play for here in P3 though. You got Hypers, Lemon and Julian, then 154 for Hypers, 146 for Lemon, 137 for Julian. So there's a fair bit of a little battle going to be happening between the two of those drivers. And then you got in P6, you've got Daniel Epic. P7, you've got FK Gaming. In P8, you've got Johan Engberg, who's actually been moved down into a reserve driver as his wheel has broken. P9, you have Borderline. P10, you have Noosa, who's not going to be racing today, unfortunately. All cars are here, ready to go. Foot is firmly at the ready to press away, and as soon as those lights go out, there's already a drive-through penalty from RB as he's made a mistake and jump-started too soon. That is not how you want to be starting this Grand Prix. Hypers, Hazard, and FK Gaming are all battling going into turn 1. The drive all the way down here, everyone's just spreading out using every single centimetre of the track. There's a little bit of a nudge there from the Williams. Look at the dive there from Brownie going into the inside. There was almost a collision there between Yoli Gamer and Brownie. I saw some Wingo flying there. I think that was one of the Renaults there. I think that was Buemels actually having a mistake. But look how FK Gaming has started this Grand Prix. He's already up in a P1, and currently Julian's going to go for a move. Not quite pulled off, but wow, what a start there from FK Gaming.
Absolutely stunner indeed from the Sauber driver, and Julian is a little bit out of sorts. He's been forced wide coming through turn 6, and that's allowed Hypers through. So it looks like those Hypersoft tires aren't working too well for Julian at the moment. But very early days, he could be playing very cautious in these early stages, and you can't blame him either. He of course has got that drive-through penalty, so he will suffer as time goes on. Bika's right the way down there and last. So him and Borderline have had a terrible start then as the Ferrari is crawling through the stadium section now. Not where you expect to see him. There's Marb serving his drive-through, so he's getting that done straight away. And Bika and Borderline both in.
Look at the drag race that's happening between FK Gaming and Hypers. Look at the slipstream coming into effect. He's already in mode 4, and they're going to be coming into turn 1, but Hypers has chosen the outside line going into turn 1. He is ahead. FK's got a better line, but Hypers has the inside. And Hypers made a beautiful move there. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? Yeah, of course he is. FK Gaming is just a little bit too far back now. And what a move by Hypers.
But look at Lemon. He started towards the back of the field. He's just gone up into 7th place. I think Buemels has made a mistake. He's lost a couple of positions. He's under pressure from Tomium as well. Lemon is up. I was looking at this just now. And what's happened to Brownie? What's happened to Brownie? He's in trouble. Oh, he's made a mistake somewhere. He's being passed left, right, literally left and right as they're coming through the stadium section. He's suddenly down to 10th. So I think he's just made a mistake at a crucial time. Is he coming into the pits? I think. Oh no! He's been spun into the pit wall. I think he was actually trying to get into the pits, but he had someone to his right, and that actually ended up spinning him into the pit wall. But the pit limiter then kicked in. He might be spared damage to the rear of the car as a new wing has gone on the Red Bull. Julian has now gotten back into the groove. He has gotten a bit clear of Hazard. He's actually broken DRS to Hazard now as he's within range of FK Gaming ahead. So now that he's gotten back into that rhythm, he's probably finding, you're talking about confidence earlier. It's very easy to kind of panic a little bit when you're towards the front and, make a few mistakes, particularly when the pack is that close. But he's managed to get back into the rhythm now, and what a shame for Lemon. He's such a great start, now got himself, his name on the penalty board. This track is very unforgiving for them, so that is not entirely a surprise, and I suspect there's going to be a few more. He's already got Yoli Gamer. He's up to 5th now, 2.6 behind Hazard.
One person I really want to keep a close eye on throughout the rest of this race is Rick. So he's up in a P9 on those super soft tyres. He's currently on the back of his teammate at the minute. And it actually was looking like he was going to make a move down the inside of him. But Rick is on the slowest of the hard compound tyres. And I think he's actually going to be coming when he gets onto the second stint, providing he does go into the ultra softs and not trying to do some sort of like weird supers, hypers. As he just had a little bit of a connection issue there, but he's back. I think he will actually come out on top of this. Tommy actually managed to benefit from that little disconnection that Rick just had for a split second, and Rick is already closing past him again. Rick must have the lowest downforce of any of the cars on track at the minute, because he just paced on past Tomium. He almost made it look like he wasn't even moving, and already he's already back in the P8, and Tomium now trying to fight back. Is he going to have the pace that is required in order to hold on? As Rick, again, look at that, he's just side by side with him as they're coming into the left-hander. Rick goes a little bit wide, but not too big deal. Tomium cut the corner a little bit too early, and that meant he skewed up his whole line, and now he's gone wide off the track.
Is Julian going to bring that car in when I think the hypers are going to be dead? See? Does he do? And he comes. Yep, he's timed that absolutely perfectly, I would say. Hazard followed suit. I think that is absolutely spot on for those hypers. Oh, De Kraus, goodness me, getting very, very twisty coming into the stadium section. I assume he's going to do the same. Super soft for Julian, so that's the last time he wants to see the pit lane. Ultras for Hazard. Now that's going to be interesting. I tell you who is running his tyres too long. It's De Kraus. His tyres have had it. He is sliding everywhere and losing pace. For Tomium again, he's going to be disqualified soon. He carries on like that. De Kraus is running those, unless they're not hypers on his car, unless my graphic has got that wrong. But I think he's running his tyres too long. If he is still on hypersofts, he's just losing so much time. Julian absolutely flew past him, and Hazard has just left him for dead as well. Three-way, your race leader Le Mans has come in. Julian diving on the inside of Boemos at the stadium. Oh, what a move! And that was impatient by Hazard. He should have waited. That was no way going to work. And as the Renault comes in, I mean, he wouldn't have known that he was coming in at that particular moment. But I was way too impatient for Hazard. He should have bided his time a bit better than that. But again, he's wanting to get past Julian. That is where his sights are. And that's cost him DRS. Rick has indeed come in a little earlier than I'd originally predicted, but not too far off. So that is, it was going to elevate everybody up a position down to, a guess, about 8th or 9th, where Rick will reappear.
Oh, I'm just watching as Lemon's closing in on Hazard. And actually, Hazard's closed up a fair bit onto the back of Julian now. I think he saw the racing point in his mirrors, and that was at that point when he's like, I should probably put my foot down and maybe catch up to the guy in front of me, which does suggest that he was actually trying it, but Lemon's going down the inside. That's a bit of a lock-up there from the Force India. Is he going to be able to defend himself against Mercedes? I don't think he is. I think Mercedes driver's actually going to be able to hold on quite nicely. Going into the double right-hander, Hazard does have priority, which does mean that Lemon runs wide. And again, Hazard doing a solid job of defending that position, but it doesn't end here. This is the most technical part. I'd be very surprised if anyone was to even attempt an overtake through this car, this section, because it really relies a lot of downforce on your car to be able to hold on. But I have been informed that there is a chance of rain around about 15 minutes, so that will be, 4 or 5 laps before the end of the session? On those hypersoft tyres, way longer than he should have been. If he can benefit from this, like Lemon is trying to do right now on Hazard, although Hazard has got some next level straight line performance. Lemon goes around the outside, and he's actually going to have the inside of the next one, and that is a done deal. Very easily done, and already he's lined himself up for the back of Julian with the DRS available to him, and I don't know quite why he's in mode 4 at this point of the of that drag there, because he's not going to have the pace in order to close it in. But Julian, that is crucial. That may affect the podium. Again, if that rain does come down when we think it will, this will play havoc on the entire grid, and I don't think any of these drivers are prepared for that situation to happen.
I think Julian is... Well, Julian was rather forced. FK Gaming! What a misjudgment there. I think he was not anticipating Julian to break where he did. If Julian is nursing his tyres, and Julian is banking on the rain arriving probably sooner than he's going to.
Julian's in the pits. He couldn't wait any longer. Ultra soft tyres have gone on for him. That does mean he's only going to be doing 8 more laps on these tyres for the end of the stint. Could you argue that he could really have gone onto the hypersofts? I think he could have done. We saw 9 laps coming out of De Kraus. Again, though, we did see him also struggling on the 9 laps.
I was going to say they were mullered at the end of that. So, no. Julian had He was hoping the rain would appear, and it's not paid off for him, unfortunately. That's, I mean, he's going to be blindingly quick now as he's approaching Boemels on knackered super soft, or getting that way at least. So the Renault isn't going to pose very little threat. The Julian now, don't be doing things like that way too far back. This is what Julian's just got to bear in mind. Oh, that he may have had a warning for that, because that looked very close to a cut coming through turn 5. As is, again, he's just scythed past Boemels. FK Gaming on the penalty board now.
Oh.
Hypers is in. Hypers is in. So no sooner do we say that, then in comes the Williams. Surely that's got to be Hypersofts.
It is.
Isn't it? There's no sign of rain, and there's not going to be any point anyone breaking out inters now, not in the last 5 laps. Where is Hypers going to appear? There goes Lemon. Where's I7? He's not even coming around the last turn, so that's going to be second for Hypers, unless it's another penalty for Rick.
I was expecting Hypers to run a little bit longer on those super softs and maybe have lost quite a fair bit of gap.
Julian on Rick. Sorry to cut you off there, Rwaggy. Oh, nicely done from Julian. Rick went defensive very early, and that just left the racing line open for Julian to use that extra grip and absolutely nail the Renault. That was very nicely done. At this rate, he's going to inherit 5th at least. But yeah, I think the podium is now under Rick.
And Julian, again, still giving it the full beans, just tearing on past FK Gaming as if he wasn't even moving. So up in a P5 goes Julian. And I'm excited to see Hazard on the podium now. P2 looking very much in his sights. i7's on 20 lap old super softs. Neither of them will be going into the pit lane. I can almost feel it. Here comes Hazard now. He's got the slipstream. He didn't make the same mistake that we saw the other gamer do onto the back of Julian. And that means Hazard's going to be holding it strong. He's on the inside now, the next one, which does give him a very solid P3. And with DRS here, will mean that he can cement that position and just focus on making it to the end of the race.
Be very surprised if Hypers doesn't throw that one on the inside of turn 12. He's now wants a decent exit.
We got rain.
Oh, that's close.
We've got rain. Look at the drivers. If you go on board with any of the drivers, you can see rain starting to stream down the front of the cars. Oh, there's contact between the two. No. Hazard, Hypers and Lemon actually had a little touch. The 2 ERL drivers, I think Hypers has let him past. I think he appreciates that. Was maybe a little bit too aggressive. I should probably let him back through again. Yeah, good job. But actually, in turn, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment, really, because now he's going to have DRS and slipstream and overtake mode, and he's going to just undo again that pass. And yeah, back up in the P1 goes Hypers. Lemon in all kinds of trouble now.
What's Julian going to do? Is he going to wait for the next straight? He does. He didn't fancy trying to throw that on the inside of turn 12. He's going to have a look on the inside coming into the stadium section. And both drivers are giving each other room. That's fair enough. Oh no, he's going to go for the last corner. Oh, don't do it, Julian. No, he wants the inside for the long right hand. Fair enough. There we go. That is a 4th position for Julian. Final racing lap then. The drivers have just got to be very careful. Le Mans has fallen miles off the back of Hypers. I'm not surprised. 21 lap old Supersofts. I'm surprised they haven't exploded yet. Hypers then is just going to cruise away to the wing.
Julian! i7's been punted into the back of Julian, and that's sent Julian spinning, which does mean that FK and Rick are going to pass them both. That's going to be straight to the steward's office. I'm pretty sure that it was i7 who just locked up and went into the back of Julian, but he's just seen himself in too many incidents of trouble, and that's, you know, that's... I think when he goes to the stewards, I think i7 is going to be getting a fair bit of penalties attached to him. But interestingly, look at the Sauber right at the back at the minute. That is Tom Yum, who's decided to come on the Inters. Whether or not those tyres are up at performance now, I mean, realistically, it doesn't make a difference to him at the minute because he's just that far back due to the steam connection issue he had earlier. But Julian, now on the back of Rick on the back of FK Gaming, and we're on the final lap, and I'm pretty sure, there you go, Hypers has crossed the line. He's taken the Mexican Grand Prix victory. Lemon coming across the line in second. Is Hazard going to be able to jump him? I don't think he is. 12.6 seconds separates them. So the podium was looking pretty good, but Rick and Julian, they're all battling as they're coming into the final corner. Julian and Rick are side by side. Who's going to get the better drive? It's looking like Julian's going to actually make that pass happen. Rick does have a lot of penalties, so it's just bragging rights. But what an absolute move there by Julian. And ultimately, he didn't lose out on his P4 position despite the incident. But that could have gone terribly wrong for the Red Bull driver. And yeah, the 2 ERL boys locking out the front 2 positions. Hazard managing to clutch that podium again. And Julian, He started off P1, started off strong in the qualifying, just couldn't quite close it out going into the race, and a good recovery drive, but ultimately that was it. So, thank you everybody who tuned in for the Supreme Racing League Grand Prix. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for you guys, but more importantly, it's been a phenomenal experience for me to commentate alongside the great King Kodiak, so thank you so much for joining me here today. I look forward to it, and I pray that we could do it again some other time.